There we go. No more of these crazy upload schedules. We just had a little family trip. Sometimes gets let's just say this: it's hard to post a video when you're driving on the highway for a couple of freaking hours. But plan for today: an unimpeded, lightning fast. Well, maybe not lightning fast, but solid ass chest day. It's 11 o'clock, rather late. I got to get back on my normal schedule of like a 6 p.m. lift, a 4 p.m. lift. That is very nice. That is very nice. That's what I got to get back to. But until then, I'll make good use of the empty gym at my disposal. So plan for chest. You know the drill. Heavy pressing of a few varieties, followed by some flying base movements, and then shit, man, I'll be ready to fucking just check the pump. It really doesn't take too much. Like, if I had to set a bar for the minimum amount of movements I would do for chest day, I would probably say I would definitely prefer at least two, but I wouldn't need much more than that. I'm not going to have an awesome, like insanely different chest day if instead of doing all incline Smith and then maybe like cable flies, if instead of doing those two movements, I suddenly did two sets of incline Smith machine, two sets of arsenal press, two sets of hammer strength press, and then cable fly, pec deck fly, machine alternating fly, like you know. So what I mean by that is, it's like, don't feel like you're limited by having to do, like, okay, I can't have a complete chest day until I've done 4 or 5 different movements. I don't or at least for me, I don't see that as an awesome approach. Like for me to have finished a workout does not mean that I get to look at myself and say, okay, I did my 3 sets of bench, I did my 3 sets of cable flies, I did my 3 sets of chest press. Done. Like, I don't have a workout set out in stone already like that I'm trying to hit. Not that I think that's a bad thing, right? Having programs is crazy good for just consistency. But like right now, my whole kind of goal, it's not to hit a certain number of sets on a certain set of movements. It's to get the a feeling of fucking exertion in my chest that's really only able to fucking come from doing those movements, right? The benefit isn't like I did this. I sat on this bench for 2 sets. I sat on this cable fly for 2 sets. The workout's over. No, the benefit is the squeeze and the burning sensation that I get during the sets, right? So I wouldn't look at somebody's workout and say, like, if you wrote out a workout on paper that you told me you did, you said 3 sets of incline Smith machine, then you told me the rep scheme and everything else, like that does not, it really doesn't tell me much at all about the workout. Like, it tells me what you did, but it doesn't tell me anything about your actual like exertion and intensity, and like how pumped were you at the end of these pressing sets, like things like that. So that's where I'm a little more concerned with the end result rather than exactly like meticulous. Well, I guess I am kind of meticulous about it, but I'm more concerned with the end result, muscular fatigue pumpness wise. You know, like when I see Tom Platt's leg day challenge, and he did like the workouts like 10 sets of 10 reps of squats and like 10 sets of 20 reps of leg extensions. That's it's kind of arbitrary. Those are just numbers. But actually doing a workout to the point where that you seriously stimulated whatever muscle you're fucking targeting, that's more so what I'm aiming for, right? So my plan isn't I want to do this many sets of this many sets of that, this many sets of that. My plan is I want to accrue enough damage and fatigue in my chest where I know that I'm going to stimulate some growth once I go home, rest, eat, recover, etc. So no more chatting. Let's just get started. Let's not get too crazy into this 4 plates business. 3 plates only 25. However, should be just about as much weight as I can actually do to failure. For like, I don't want to undersell, but I know I can get 10 reps guaranteed. So in my mind, I want to fucking just aim for 20. You know, not that I want a specific number. I just want to get to a point where I can't do any more. But if I make 8 reps my goal, and I hit 8, subconsciously your brain's gonna be like, oh, you did it, you're done, rack it. No. So never try to underestimate your strength or your endurance per se. But whatever. Let me get in the zone here. Ugh, fuck. One more, same weight. Oh, I'll make it a drop set if necessary. I do like some slow controlled reps though. They don't all have to be totally nasty. But I don't think they all have to be perfectly clean like that either. Forgot to record the second set. I just did 3 plates on 25 again. But now let's do some squeezing, kind of cable pressing. Not crazy weight either, but enough where when I hold it for a second, it'll burn. Yeah. So. Yeah. 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 Okay. Oh. A few more. All right. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. Let's move on. A bit on the less orthodox side of things, but in terms of just a squeeze, it's kind of hard to beat these fucking dumbbell movements. So grab whatever dumbbell you manage, hold it in front of you like this, and then you just flex your chest. So the range of motion is kind of shit. I mean, I'm not gonna say this is a perfect chest movement, but just kind of the burning sensation from sitting here and fucking squeezing like this, I think it has nothing to do except add to the pump. So plan now, I think 2 of these kind of just squeezing ones, really just to develop a fucking serious burn. Finish with some cable flies. That'll be it. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's do some flies. Let's just do a moderate squeezing set of flies. Depending on how good this set is, this could be it. But we'll have to find out. Let's post down. Oh my God. I accidentally lied to you. One more set. Light decline squeezing flies. Just to get some extra blood flow in here. A few extra cc's of hemoglobin and everything else. Yeah. Okay, now we can post down. There we go. So today's workout ended up being 2 sets of incline Smith machine, 2 sets of cable press, two sets of dumbbell kind of pullovers or whatever, pec fly or pec deck, cable fly, pump check. That's about right. I would say that is about freaking right. So in just 8 sets, let's see how freaking, well, it's not even a real question. Let's just take a look. Come on. So I didn't get my morning weight this morning, but I did get on the scale once I got home from my little drive. 258. But of course, that's like midday weight. So my actual morning weight tomorrow will probably be a bit closer, like probably 255 or something. But that being the starting weight for this bulking period, for the most part, this is now 3 weeks in. Let's just say I am fine with that. So let's see how we're just looking at fucking front relaxed. Go. Dude. Oh my goodness. And that was only 2 heavy sets. The rest of them were pretty moderately weighted, just kind of squeeze focused. Oh, but of course, pumped like a fucking demon. Let's get in the car. Dude, I'm so fucking tired. There we go. All right. Chest day. Oh, shit. Fuck. Getting a group call from Chris Bumstead and Jay Cutler. Hello? Yeah. They're not doing their cardio. I'm looking right. I keep telling them it's. All right. Well, whatever. I'll try to tell them more. All right, later. Come on, guys. You know, it can't be overstated. I seriously cannot overstate cardio. But that wasn't the focus of this lift. Just had a little chest action. So Mark Little Broski, he's more of a 30 minutes of cardio after the workout kind of fan. You know, where he finishes his normal lift, then sits on the bike for 30 minutes afterward before rolling. Personally, I think with the cardio, you've pretty much got 4 times you can do it. If you're going to do it. I guess there's a 5th time, which is never the most prevalent. But number 1, which I think is the best, in the morning. Right? I think, I mean, for me, that's kind of why I do it, but a routine that I like the most, which I can kind of wrap my day around, is cardio in the morning, followed by a lift in the evening. Because if I lift in the evening, you know, I've had enough time to kind of eat my food throughout the day, recover from the cardio itself, be nice and kind of warm and fucking limber, and really get into the weights. Whereas, you know, if I did cardio right after the workout, I feel like I'm kind of cutting into my recovery, you know? Like after this workout, after that last set of chest, I immediately want to go from stressing my fucking pecs to chilling. I want to be totally chill. I'm talking go home, eat some food, drink some whatever, tons of fucking fluids, sleep, right? I'm in recovery mode right now. So I kind of, in my mind, it's like if I just finished stressing out my system, now I want to relax and kind of jumpstart the recovery period. So to do cardio directly after the workout, I kind of feel will interfere a touch with that recovery. Now, I don't mean like a lot, you know. If I did 30 minutes on the seated bike after that lift, I don't think it would negate the lift at all. But that's just kind of, you know, how I sort of think of it. But 30 minutes of cardio after your fucking workout is still miles ahead of zero cardio, you know? So do with that information what you will. Which, based on a couple of non-peer-reviewed studies I've conducted, is never doing it, which sucks. But yeah, chest done, heavy pressing, some squeezing shit, really hard fucking squeezing with those dumbbells, and some solid stretch to squeezing with the cable flies. I mean, that's pretty fucking perfect. I know on the way here to the gym, I was like, oh, you only need to do 2 movements. I kind of felt like changing it up today, you know. So don't forget, there's no one way to get a pump. There's no one way to make gains. You know, I think the guys who seriously do the best are the ones who have varied training over the course of months and lifts and everything else. They try new stuff, see what works, go hard on everything that they do try. You know, think with their brain. It's like, okay, if my chest works like this, then I could probably do this cable in this way. And I just came up with a new fucking cable press where I do one arm, you know, just random shit like that. So, if your training is getting a little stale, fucking maybe just ask somebody to follow their chest day. Or I guess you could you could just go to the gym and watch someone do a workout, and then just copy them set for set. Don't copy too close, or they might catch on and see you like, you know, just stealing their training secrets. But yeah, I am more than man. This is a very nice state for me to be in right now. You know, I'm no longer I'm not getting antsy about starting the bulk like I was at the end of the dieting phase. Deer sitting right by the side of the road. Now I'm just kind of in it, you know, in the thick of it. So I've said this a couple times. The first month of this bulking phase, trying to gain weight, is the easiest for me because I've just gone like 2.5 months eating in a legit deficit. So my appetite has increased, which is kind of the point of me doing this little dieting phase. It's to reset my appetite, reset my insulin sensitivity and whatnot, so I can start gaining weight again and reach a new, you know, fucking body weight PR, which, not body weight, but muscle mass PR, right? So the first month of dieting, or the first month of bulking, is definitely the easiest because I'm fucking hungry, man. I can put down some food. Historically, I've done bulks where as soon as I started bulking, I had like some 10,000 calorie days. Uh, Not necessary at all. Honestly, it really did me more harm than good because that just immediately started to crash my appetite. Because the more food that you eat, it takes a while to actually adapt to it. So yeah, you're not a don't try to stress about, oh, I gotta eat 10,000 fucking calories a day. No, that's silly. That is beyond necessary unless you're Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, or a certain Mr. Bjornson, who we're all aware of. You know, So, over the last few weeks, I've been eating about 4,000 ish calories. Some days having a little more, some days having a little less. I'm not crazy concerned about being super meticulous day by day by day because this is the first month. It's not very hard to mess up the bulking phase right out of a diet. But as time progresses, and I get a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, I'm going to be really fucking tricky and careful about making sure every day I'm hitting my 5,000 calorie goal. Now, I go about it in a much better way now because I'm doing a big breakfast, like an oatmeal, cream of wheat, everything else, eggs, ground beef, chicken, whatever. I'm not chicken. Doing a lot of tilapia. Been doing a lot of tilapia, ground beef, and eggs and steaks. Those are like the main sources. Not because they're like the best. I mean, they're good, of course. Those are the ones I like the most. So, by having normally sized meals evenly throughout the day, it makes it so much easier to get a lot of food down. You know. So that's why I feel like some people get a little bit of an incorrect approach to, like, okay, I'm gonna start bulking up now. Every meal I eat has to be like a fucking, stomach belt buster. That's just not the case. But over the course of the entire day, you do have to fucking get in a certain amount of calories, or else you're just not gonna progress anymore. You're not gonna be growing. The main fucking stimulus of my gaining weight is not the training; it's the fucking food. Like if I've trained for as long as I have, and as hard as I have, or let's say I trained even harder. Let's say my training was even more efficient than it is now for the last 6 years. If I only ate 2,000 calories a day for that whole time, I would never get above like 190. Now, of course, I'd be a fucking lean 190, just from doing training. If you don't want to seriously bulk up like crazy, just from working out hard and not even really getting into your diet, like you are going to set yourself up for some serious gains compared to somebody who's not working out at all. But if you do want to gain weight, actually fucking, getting your calories in day by day, that should be your MO, man. That's your primary fucking directive. That should be hardwired into your DNA and your fucking genes to say, all right, I got to get my 4,500 calories in. I got to get my 750 grams of carbs in, and 120 grams of fats, and 200 grams of protein. So what I mean by that is, like, I have to do that fucking consistently, or else it's going to totally screw up the bulking phase. Is if I get off track, like right now, this is the fucking honeymoon phase. Not really. The stakes are not that high, right? Like if tomorrow I only had 2,000 calories, and then the next day I had back to 4,000, I don't even think my weight would dip too much. But once I seriously start bulking, because right now it's almost like my whole body, you could think of it as a sponge. So the fact that I've been kind of depleting it, right, over this last dieting phase and squeezing out all the water, the fats and the carbs and the intramuscular glycogen and whatnot, this first month, by now opening the floodgates, I get to eat a lot of fucking calories. All that fucking sponge, the tension's been released. It's just gonna suck up fucking water and food. So for the first month, no biggie. My body is not being stressed. All it's doing is fucking sucking up all the nutrients it wants to have because it wants to be at a baseline fed state. The Any organism likes a steady amount of food every day, being nice and fed, reasonably active. That's a pretty solid state to be in. So as these months progress, like right now, this is not a challenge, but 2 months from now, 3 months from now, right, I'm gonna be growing muscle, which is an adaptation that my body's fucking going through because I'm stimulating it and filling up with a ton of fucking food. It doesn't want to grow. Nobody, apart from like when you're a kid going through puberty and you're actually fucking just gaining weight because you're reaching full size, your body doesn't want to be like 250 pounds. It doesn't want to be 270 pounds. Like that's a chore. You're actually like fighting against your, well, I wouldn't say your better judgment, but against your kind of body's instincts. Because in 3 months from now, I'm not going to be like seriously fucking starving for every meal, you know. But if I do want to continue gaining weight, then I do have to keep getting them in. And it took me a while to get around to it. But what I was about to say was, if in 3 months from now, when I'm really fucking trying to pack down food and I'm at like 270 to whatever, for me to have a day where I go from eating 5,000 to one day, let's say I had 2,000 calories, I was really busy, or like it's just whatever. Insert any scenario where I can only get 2,000 calories in that day. I'm probably gonna immediately drop like 5 pounds, 6 pounds, you know, because to continue bulking, if you ever bulk for real, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it gets progressively harder and harder. That's kind of the nature of actually hitting a plateau. Like everything that you're doing is now no longer working. So your your main option is okay, eat more food. But once I get up to like 5,500, like I've done 6,000 per day on a not even semi, like a consistent basis of a few weeks straight. I just couldn't keep it up. It's just too much food for me to fucking handle. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not growing anymore. I physically cannot eat any more food. It's been 5 months of bulk and I haven't gained weight for the last month. Let's chill out, bulk over, start dieting down, you know. So historically, over my last few bulks, anytime that I've like had a few days where I was off track and I didn't get my fucking food in and I missed my meals, my weight gain went from like steady, 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 crash, and it's hard to fucking build back up. To build your momentum in a bulk back from having like a 6 pound or however many pound drop from your kind of peak weight. I guess it depends on the person, but for me, that is hard to do. Like it just I never end up building that fucking momentum back. So that's where the more energy you can actually put into it, and the more consistent you can be, the more gains you can expect. So don't feel like a fool bringing in a Tupperware container of rice and cut up turkey with hot sauce. That's what you got to do for your fucking gains, man. So that's the plan for the next few months. I'll keep you updated when I'll when I before I post this tomorrow. I'll weigh myself in the morning, and then so that'll be in the description what my morning weight was in the morning when I wake up. But I'm sure 256, 250 something. A couple pounds closer to that 280 mark, which is not the end goal. That's simply a fucking milestone. But that's all I got. Back day, no, forearms, maybe some other, kind of accessory muscles tomorrow as well. Probably no neck training, but if you feel like you kind of want a thicker neck, weight training for your fucking, sitting on a bench sideways and putting a 10 pounder, it does work. If you want to train a muscle, or if you want to grow a muscle, directly training it will fucking work. But probably just fucking forearms, and then whatever else kind of comes to mind. So I guess we'll see tomorrow. I'll see you then.